Morning, everybody. Hope you're all doing well and are staying safe. Today we are going to be reading 3 chapters of Wonder. We are going to be reading High School, Major Tom, and After School. Okay. High School. What I've always loved most about middle school was that it was separate and different from home. I could go there and be Olivia Pullman, not Via, which is my name at home. Via is what they called me in elementary school too. Back then, everyone knew all about us, of course. Mom used to pick me up after school in August, but was always in the stroller. There weren't a lot of people who were equipped to babysit for Augie, so Mom and Dad brought him to all of the class plays and concerts and recitals, all of the school functions, the bake sales, the book fairs. My friends knew him, my friends' parents knew him, my teachers knew him, the janitor knew him. "Hey, how you doing, Augie?" he'd always say, and give August a high five. Augie was something of a fixture at PS 22. But in middle school, a lot of people didn't know about August. My old friends did, of course, but my new friends didn't. Or if they knew, it wasn't necessarily the first thing that they knew about me. Maybe it was the second or third thing they'd hear about me. "Olivia, yeah, she's nice. Did you hear she's a brother who's deformed?" I always hated that word, but I knew it was how people described Augie. And I knew those kinds of conversations probably happened all the time out of earshot, every time I left the room at a party or bumped into groups of friends at a pizza place. And that's okay. I'm always going to be the sister of a kid with a birth defect. And that's not the issue. I just don't always want to be defined that way. The best thing about high school is that hardly anybody knows me at all. Except Miranda and Ella, of course, and they know not to go around talking about it. Miranda, Ella, and I have known each other since the first grade. What's so nice is we never had to explain things to one another. When I decided I wanted them to call me Olivia instead of Via, they got it without me having to explain. They've known August since he was a little baby. When we were little, our favorite thing to do was play dress up with Augie. Load him up with feather boas and big hats and Hannah Montana wigs. He used to love it, of course, and we thought he was adorably cute in his own way. Ella said he reminded her of E.T. She didn't say this to be mean, of course, though it was maybe a little bit mean. The truth is, there's a scene in the movie where Drew Barrymore dresses E.T. in a blonde wig, and that was a ringer for Augie in our Miley Cyrus heyday. Throughout middle school, Miranda, Ella, and I were pretty much our own little group. Somewhere between being super popular and well-liked. Not brainy, not jocks, not rich, not druggies, not mean, not goody-goody, not huge, not flat. I don't know if the three of us found each other because we were so alike in so many ways, or if we found each other because we became alike in so many ways. We were so happy when we all got into Faulkner High School. It was such a long shot that all 3 of us would be accepted, especially when almost no one from our middle school was. I remember how we screamed into our phones the day we got our acceptance letters. This is why I haven't understood what's been going on with us lately. Now that we're actually in high school, it's nothing like I thought it was going to be. Major Tom. Out of the 3 of us, Miranda had always been the sweetest to August, hugging him, playing with him, long after Ella and I had moved on to playing something else. Even as we got older, Miranda always made sure to include August in our conversations, ask him how he was doing, talk to him about Avatar or Star Wars or Bone or something that she knew he liked. It was Miranda who had given Augie the astronaut helmet he wore practically every day of the year when he was 5 or 6. She would call him Major Tom, and they would sing Space Oddity by David Bowie together. It was their little thing. They knew all of the words and would blast it on the iPad and sing aloud. Since Miranda has always been good about calling us as soon as she got home from summer camp, I was a little surprised when I didn't hear from her. I even texted her and she didn't reply. I figured maybe she ended up staying at camp longer now that she was a counselor. Maybe she met a cute guy. Then I realized from her Facebook wall that she'd actually been home for a full 2 weeks. So I sent her an IM and we chatted online a bit. But She didn't give me a reason for not calling, which I thought was bizarre. Miranda had always been a little flaky, so I figured that's all it was. We made plans to meet downtown, but then I had to cancel because we were driving out to see Tata and Papa for the weekend. So I ended up not seeing either Miranda or Ella until the first day of school. And I have to admit, I was shocked. Miranda looked so different. Her hair was cut in super cute bob, and she dyed it pink, of all things. She was wearing a striped tube top that A, seemed way inappropriate for school, and B, was not her usual style. Miranda had always been a prude about clothes, and here she was all pink-haired and tube-topped. But it wasn't just the way she looked that was different. She was acting differently, too. I can't say she wasn't nice, because she was, but she seemed sort of distant, like I was a casual friend. It was the weirdest thing in the world. At lunch, the three of us sat together like we always used to, but the dynamics had shifted. It was obvious to me that Ella and Miranda had gotten together a few times during the summer without me, though they never actually said that. I pretended not to be upset while we talked, though I could feel my face getting hot, my smile being fake. Although Ella wasn't as over the top as Miranda, I noticed a change in her style, too. It was like they had talked to each other beforehand about redoing their image at the new school, but they hadn't bothered to clue me in. I admit, I had always thought I was above this kind of typical teenage pettiness, but I felt a lump in my throat throughout lunch. My voice quivered as I said, "See you later," as the bell rang. After school. "I hear we're driving you home today." It was Miranda in 8th period. She had just sat down at the desk right behind me. I had forgotten that Mom had called Miranda's mother the night before to ask if she could drive me home from school. "You don't have to," I answered instinctively casually. "My mom can pick me up." I thought she had to pick up Augie or something. "It turns out she can pick me up afterwards. She just texted me. Not a problem." "Oh, okay. Thanks." It was all a lie on my part, but I couldn't see sitting in a car with a new Miranda. After school, I ducked into a restroom to avoid bumping into Miranda's mother outside. Half an hour later, I walked out of the school, ran 3 blocks to the bus stop, hopped on the M86 to Central Park West, and took the subway home. "Hey there, sweetie," Mom said at the moment I stepped through the door. "How was your first day? I was starting to wonder where you guys were." "Oh, we stopped for pizza." Incredibly easy that a lie could slip through your lips. "Is Miranda not with you?" She seemed surprised that Miranda wasn't right behind me. "She went straight home. We have a lot of homework." "On your first day?" "Yes, on our first day," I yelled, which was completely surprised my mom. But before she could say anything, I said, "School was fine. It's really big, though. The kids seem nice." I want to give her enough information so she didn't feel the need to talk to me more. "How was Augie's first day of school?" Mom hesitated, her eyebrows still high on her forehead from when I snapped at her a second earlier. "Okay," she said slowly, like she was letting out a breath. "What do you mean, okay?" I said. "Was it good or bad?" He said it was good. "So why do you think it wasn't good?" "I didn't say it wasn't good. Geez, Via, what is up with you?" "Just forget I said anything at all," I answered, and stormed dramatically into Augie's room and slammed the door. He was on his PlayStation and didn't even look up. I hated how zombified his video games made him. "So, how was school?" I said, scooching Daisy over so I could sit on his bed next to him. "Fine," he answered, still not looking up from his game. "Augie, I'm talking to you." I pulled the PlayStation out from his hands. "Hey," he said angrily. "How was school?" "I said fine," he yelled back, grabbing the PlayStation back from me. "Were people nice to you?" "Yes." "No one was mean?" He put the PlayStation down and looked at me as if I had just asked the dumbest question in the world. "Why would people be mean?" he said. And that was the first time in his life that I heard him be sarcastic like that. I didn't think he had it in him. Guys, those are those 3 chapters. Be on the lookout for some reading response questions as well. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.